Okay, I hope I didn't. I hope it was not a cliffhanger that I left on that last video, because this is going to be enlightening to you. If you're young, just coming up, this right here will it'll be an education to you. Your tools to somebody else, then you probably already know this. And you know, at that point, the only thing you can do is confirm it, that we're on the same page, not to stray from this 1926 McCormick-Deering Type M. The fuel pump's what we're working on. That's the subject, is the fuel pump. I just throwed this right here in here as a little, you know, being that most of the time I don't talk too much in my videos, I thought I might go ahead and tell you about this fuel pump even. But before we get to that, these two sockets right here, and everybody. Well, I'm not going to say everybody, because that's a pretty broad term, but constantly on this YouTube thing, you got guys on there arguing. I mean, almost to come to fisticuffs, blows. I'm talking about. You know, just go out behind the bar, and you know. It's almost to that point. And that point being made in the USA as compared to made in Taiwan. Well, I'm going to show you something. This happens to be show and tell, educational. Pass it on. This right here is a Craftsman socket. Okay, it's a VV 9/16 Craftsman made in the USA. 47522. That's the number on it. Okay, it's a 9/16 on the other one. Craftsman made in the USA. VV 47522 9/16. Identical part numbers, but they couldn't be no more alike than this PM thrown in the mix. So I'll point something out to you, and you be the judge. Both of these made in the United States. Okay, if you look down in, I'm talking about just the visual. This socket right here has never been used. It's a brand spanking new socket. Never been on a nut. Never had a ratchet to it. This socket over here been used a lot. Okay, if you look down in yonder, the die that they used to punch down in yonder and make that socket 12 point. Okay, when they shot that down in there, the metal looks terrible. It's it's really bad. I can see problems with it immediately. That socket there, it's going to be oversized at best. Okay, when you look down in yonder, the machining beyond that is crude. It's not very good. It's got some tool marks in it. If you look down in this hole here, it's got them little indents in yonder. You know, a little half moon for that little snap thing in your ratchet to catch in so you don't lose it. Okay, on this socket right here, if you look in yonder, it's a brand spanking new, and you can see everything. If you're looking in there, okay, right yonder's a little indent in that flat. There's one in that flat and one in this flat. Okay, on this one right here, there's no indent. If you put your ratchet on there and happen to hit that, I mean, it's a 3-to-1 odds you're going to get it on there, and it'll be loose and fall off. Most times there's not enough tension in that little steel ball by itself against a smooth surface to hold it on there. So it needs to have that little indent. They're made in the United States. Okay, if you look at this one over here made in Taiwan, it's got an indent on every one of them up there, and it's quite bold. So this socket will lock on really tight. And the finish on this right here, the finish is almost polished in all manner. Made in Taiwan. I'm not saying yes or no. Made in the United States, I'm not saying yes and no. But there's just no comparison. Even on this other end, when you look at them, on this one right here, this one that's got the bad end up here, that's terrible. That is terrible. That's unacceptable, the finish on that metal right there. Oh, it's really bad. I'm ashamed that that was made here in the United States. I am, to be honest with you. And this one made in Taiwan. It's smooth right there. You know, it makes you want to own this tool for some reason. Yeah, I like that. I'm just saying, let's move on. Leave a comment about them there tools. Now that we got this, that we saved these nuts, now that I have saved your nuts, you should have already made a note of that in the, you know, in your mechanic book, most all mechanic books has a blank page in there. Well, that page is not just for, that's not a useless page. What I've been telling you in this last few videos, you should done already have written that down on that page. That's what that page is for, to write this stuff down. Fuel pump packing. This right here was a roll of, it's graphite impregnated, some kind of cotton. It's a real good packing. Got that at a yard sale for nothing, you know. The tool somewhere, auction maybe, a long time ago, years ago, I got that. Okay, if you cut you off a piece about, and you can go backwards in my playlist and see me actually do this in another video. Done it. Lots of times. But about that long right there, ain't no need for me to measure it. Just put how much you need on there to fill up the capacity, the space you're working with. You be the judge. If you're not that intelligent enough to know to pack that really good and smooth and conical shape in order to fit down in that there, that's it right here, fuel pump. Goes right in there like that. And if you remember, we machined these spring tube packing glands. You know, we machined them not too long ago on that Shoreline lathe. And what I done is I got that there white thread tape, Teflon it is, yeah. It don't matter what brand it is. Just wrap a bunch of that around there, shoot you some 30 weight non-detergent oil on it, put it in there, and you're good to go. Okay, I can't make you see down in these holes right here on them seats, but I've been working with them seats for maybe a couple hours. And that's another thing too. One of the comments was how to get these balls in these fuel pumps. It's got a ball down there and a ball here, check ball, and when they get stuck, it's one of the most difficult things to do on one of these engines is to get that check ball unstuck in them fuel pumps when it gets stuck. You know, they could have did that a little bit different there with a clean out plug or something, but you really can't blame it on the engine. But it's one of the harder things to do, and I did it successful on this fuel pump right here. And also I got them seats down in there, really the best I've ever done. I actually did better on this one than every one I've ever done. I got 2 more there to go. 4 balls stuck in them. You know, patience most of the time. And on this one right here that I'm putting on this engine right here, we're talking about, is I'm going to use brass balls in it. That's a 5/16 right there, and that's a 3/8 there, brass. Now normally I use steel balls, stainless steel, slightly magnetic, I think. Stainless steel. I don't know, them surgical grade. I should put a magnet to them. Okay, let's just see if they're, I'm going to put this magnet to them. Okay, see, them's non-magnetic. So them's true stainless steel balls that I prefer. I've got several sets of these here that, you know, I got them back in the good old days. And I just recently got these brass, come by them not too long ago. So I'm going to put 2 of these 5/16 and 3/8. Probably ought to check that. You know, I didn't check them, and you know, it's a good thing to check everything, you know. Okay, this one right here, it's 375 thousandths on the big one. Okay, on the little one, and that was right perfectly on it. On the little one is 312 thousandths. That's 5/16. Right on it. No up and down about it. on those, and I'm going to use them, and these are the same size, you know. I'm going to use the brass ones in this one for no reason whatsoever. And sometimes you will get a corrosion. I'll show you something. You see this yeah, let's see. Okay, I found it. You see this ball here? You don't see that ball? Right there it is in them tweezers. It's corroded. It was a, I don't know what, it could have been bronze, you know, it could have been brass, could have been iron. Anyway, it's corroded really, really bad. I could clean that up, but it's better to replace a check ball. And if you've got a check ball like this right here, and look it over good. It all rusty and out of round, looks like, can't tell what kind of metal it's made out of. If you got a check ball in your fuel pump, you can't expect it to work really, really good. So you need to just switch that out. I'm just saying, it's good advice from whoever gives it to you. So I'm going to put this together with a check ball in there, and I'll show you something else. On these, this happened to be the one that come with this right here, and when I took that all apart, I noticed that IC casting was in the front of this fuel pump. Lucky that I had knotted the two pieces together, so when you put it back together, then that fork and that hat up there is already worn in, and it should match up. If you're trying to replace one of these with somewhere else, especially this one here, as much as the way they are wore in, it's a good thing that they're together, but if they wasn't, it would be a bad thing. Like this right here. That's pretty decent across there. You could use this. And this one right here, it's kind of what I was talking about. You see that on this leg over here, that's supposed to be flat there. Those two levels right there, when you're looking at that, that's supposed to be flat. It don't supposed to have no hook in it. So, you know, if you can judge how much these are wore as to how much hook you got in there. That's supposed to be flat. And you can weld that up and remachine it. All is not lost if yours is worn. They do need to be repaired, unless that you have a match set like this. The whole thing is it matches up. And when that wears, it fits again. So you want to keep those together. If I put one of these over here, over there, then I would have to grind on these ears right here and on that to match everything up, hand fit it, so to speak. But we're gonna put this on the engine, and so we'll move the camera over there and get at it at that side. From here on the East Coast, Arkansas, Shop Dog Sam.